Self-driving cars are no longer the future. They're sharing the road with us right now. But when it comes to safety, trust, and accountability, not all tech is created equal. So, which company truly passes the margarita test, Waymo or Tesla? Joining us to break it all down is legal expert. We have Craig Ashton, partner at Ashton & Price, to explain the legal roads these driverless giants are navigating and what it all means for you. Craig, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Craig, let's start with the big picture. What exactly is the margarita test, and why is it such a powerful way to evaluate self-driving technology right now?
So it's an old legal adage I just made up.
Okay.
So essentially what it means is that can you have a margarita in the car and not suffer legal consequence? Or the better way to ask it, who's driving?
Yes.
So when it comes to Waymo, which is Google, so essentially they've got the technology, they've got the server power, they are now fully autonomous driving in San Francisco, in Austin, Texas, in Phoenix, in Los Angeles. And if you get in the back of a Waymo, you are not driving legally. That is being driven by basically Waymo, which is Alphabet, which is Google.
Yes.
When it comes to Tesla, the cars are called full self-driving or autonomous, but they're not. And the person that's in the front seat is driving it. And so if something bad happens, you're legally responsible. You cannot have a margarita. Leave the margarita out of the Tesla.
Yes, can't have it with the Tesla. Okay, and I mean, you kind of broke this down, but we've got two major players, Waymo and Tesla, both in the driverless space, but heading in very different directions. Can you expand on what those key differences are for each company?
Right, so Waymo actually is basically cracked the code. So I have a second place in San Francisco. We have an office on Montgomery Street. And so I've been watching Waymos for the last several years. And at first they were kind of halting around corners.
Yeah.
You know, personal injury attorney, I'm looking at this going, I don't think I'm gonna get in front of it. Now it passed the Tanya test. That's my wife. She is very fearful of any sort of risk, and she's been driving them in San Francisco. She loves it.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to tip. It picks you up on time. It drops you off at the right spot. And in terms of feeling like it's not a real human-like experience behind the wheel, she felt very safe. In terms of Tesla, totally different. Right now, Waymo is doing 250,000 rides per week.
Wow.
And Tesla's not really doing any yet.
Okay, and you just said Waymo's already offering over 250,000 driverless rides a week in cities like LA and Phoenix, San Francisco. How are they legally able to operate fully driverless cars with no human behind the wheel? Because the concept is still, still brand new in a sense.
And it's all happening in Northern California. This is like going to change the way that the transportation works. So in California, the DMV looks at safety. So they go, all right, Tesla, Waymo, let's see what you got. Is it safe? And then they put you on a transition permit. And if you pass the safety test, the DMV says it's safe to go on the road. Then the Public Utilities Commission basically says, what can you charge? Right. So Elon Musk, being the funky guy that he is, wants to charge $420, you know, basically a euphemism for marijuana, which is weird. And then Waymo just charges regular rates like an Uber. So the idea in California is got to pass the DMV, which is a safety, and then PUC, which is basically the fare charging. And at that point, Waymo's already got that. Tesla's still got a long way to go.
Okay, and then speaking of Tesla, they've kind of taken the heat for how it markets its autopilot and full self-driving features. So what's at the heart of the legal trouble they're kind of facing right now?
So I've had two Teslas, and I don't have a Tesla anymore because at first I thought Elon Musk was a Tony Stark of our day. It's going to drive. And so, you know, I paid extra for this full self-driving downloadable thing. You know, 5 years later, I got rid of the cars and never even came close to that. So the idea is it's false advertising, not being sincere about the fact that they can actually do it. And so the Attorney General in California says, look, you've been basically having people pay for this service that you knew you couldn't provide, taking money from them through false advertising, and that's a problem for Tesla.
Okay, and I mean, let's bring it back to that margarita test. Which company is legally and technologically safer for consumers to trust with their lives on the road?
Right now, Waymo for sure, because they've got 250,000 rides per week, 10 million paid. We cracked it in Northern California. It's going to go to Tokyo, London, all over the world. And we're from the part of the world that this is happening. So we are changing the world here in Northern California.
All right, we're seeing it happen day by day. Craig, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, to our viewers, when it comes to protecting your rights on the road, don't steer alone. Visit AshtonandPrice.com, or you can call the number you see on the screen, 916-786-7787 for legal advice.